Let's start with the first part. When does the investment period begin? At ALC, we use a specific and what we believe is the legally correct approach to determine when the investment period begins. According to our PPM, our legal documents, we determine the investment period starts for each investor on the date that each investor's capital is actually deployed into the project through construction draws. Now, we believe that this is the correct method because while many investors, EB5 investors' funds are pooled to fund a single project, each EB5 investor's petition actually stands on its own and is reviewed and approved by USCIS based on the merits of each individual application. So therefore, we determine the date of investment period starting as the actual date each investor's funds are deployed into a project through ongoing construction loan draws. This means the investment period starts most likely on a different date for each investor. So we're very specific. So next, part two. When is return of capital expected, and what conditions need to be met for return of capital? So the return of capital and the conditions for repayment depend on the satisfaction of several conditions that each play alongside each other, and I'll explain both. So first and most importantly, everybody knows, all conditions of immigration law must be satisfied in terms of sustainment period required for job creation, as this is the central purpose of EB5 investing. So we need to make sure that the immigration side has been satisfied. In the industry, that's typically 2 years after the deployment of capital, which could be 1 to 2 years after the closing of the loan, depending on when construction loan draws are made. And then second, the investment period must be satisfied as set forth in our PPM, which is a period of up to 5 years, which you can see matches up with the first requirement and those years included in deployment of the capital. And the last step is that we must, once it's appropriate, we must then liquidate the asset into which the EB5 funds have been invested. So once the investor is ready to receive their funds, after satisfying the two conditions we just talked about, then we engage in a careful and responsible liquidation process to maximize recovery and safely get all the funds back through methods such as refinance, sale of assets, etc.